Well, some Democrats accuse party leaders of burying a postmortem on the 2016 election loss. The autopsy reportedly was presented during a members-only meeting with about 24 lawmakers in attendance. According to Politico, the report focused on fundraising, not messaging. Joining us now, the authors of Shattered: Inside Hillary Clinton's Doomed Campaign, Jonathan Allen and Amie Parnes. Thanks, both of you, for being here.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
So this post-mortem, Amie, what do you know about it?
The post-mortem, as you said, focuses on fundraising, but as we report in our book, it was so much more complicated than that. It was messaging. There was never any hierarchy in the campaign. There was a shuffling around of aides. There were a lot of problems internally, and also, she became the inevitable candidate again, and I think that was something that really haunted her. She was kind of a mismatched candidate for the times. And Jonathan,
when you look at the two campaigns, it always seemed like the Trump campaign was the one that was constantly shuffling advisors, bringing in a new manager, that kind of thing. According to your book, it was Hillary Clinton's campaign that really suffered from leadership problems.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well for President Trump, I think. Secretary Clinton had all sorts of internal problems that weren't aired. A lot of people on her campaign were afraid to talk to reporters, afraid of being accused of leaking things. I think it's fascinating that House Democrats don't want their report to get out, don't want people to be able to analyze it. Doesn't seem particularly good strategy for the long term. And we've heard some of that echo about this book that we've written, that there are some Democrats that don't want you to read it, which doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of trying to look at the future and how that party can rebuild itself after a devastating loss.
One of the problems you go into, Amie, and you touched on it before, is just the fact that Hillary Clinton was not able to articulate why she deserved the office.
Right, and that stemmed from, early in the beginning, she actually had those problems on her launch speech. When aides gathered, she invited outside advisors in, including one Obama speechwriter, and at the end of the process, he kind of got so frustrated that he couldn't carry on anymore because there was no real message. It could have been given by any Democratic. It was like your typical stump speech. And that was problematic for her. When people inside the campaign don't really know what it is, what the big idea is, that's a problem.
Jonathan, what about I just lost my train of thought completely. But Elizabeth Warren played a role in this whole campaign, sort of shadowing Hillary and caused some problem for the campaign.
Well, she became an attack mechanism against Donald Trump, and some people thought she was pretty effective at that. The interesting story that we tell about Elizabeth Warren in this book is that Hillary Clinton was very dissatisfied with her short list of vice presidential candidates. At the time, it was Tim Kaine, it was New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, and she really didn't like it. She told her aides, this is not thrilling me. And as a result, Elizabeth Warren made sort of a late run into that short list. Ultimately, Secretary Clinton decided, according to our sources, that she just couldn't trust that Elizabeth Warren would be on her team in the White House. They didn't have enough of a background of working together, as it was put to us. They hadn't conducted enough transactions together, and the Obama White House had warned a little bit against Elizabeth Warren because she had sometimes gone out on a populist streak against them, perhaps having a little bit better feel for where the public was than the Obama White House or the Clinton campaign.
Amie, I just remembered the question I was going to throw to Jonathan, so I'll throw it to you. And that has to do with being dismissive of Donald Trump. I mean, from the moment he announced, everybody was saying this guy could never be president. Was there some of that feeling in the Clinton camp?
I think there was, and early on we detail in the book that there was a memo put out by a Clinton advisor who basically said, fact, Donald Trump can become president of the United States. This was a memo that I don't think ever gained much traction. While they did take him seriously, I think towards the end they thought that they had it. They thought that, they had everything going from them, from surrogates. President Obama was on the trail for them. They had the infrastructure. They had everything really in their favor, financial backing. And so I think in some ways, maybe in the back of their mind, they did take him for granted.
The new book is Shattered: Inside Hillary Clinton's Doomed Campaign. Those are the authors, Jonathan Allen and Amie Parnes.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.